All right, and we're back. Episode 2 of More Than Different podcast, Lifestyle Edition. Calling in from Worcester, Mass. B, where are you? How you doing?
I'm burrowed in up in the attic down in Arlington, Mass, hovering down. Copious amounts of snow falling right now, so I'm hanging in there.
Snow day edition, huh? We're all cooped up in the crib.
We are. It's not bad though. We're due. It's been it feels like there hasn't been too much snow this winter, so a little whiteness around on the trees and on the ground doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, we've had a little dry streak. New England weather.
Yeah.
New
I
England.
don't think this is going away. We've had a couple little sprinkles of snow, but then there's a warm day, it all goes away. But this 2 feet or so should hang around for a while. So
Yeah, just for the viewers, it looks like we have a sold out theater here with all the boys front row.
it's, it's good to have a live audience.
Yeah, good to have a live audience. Feel free to chime in and ask any questions, guys.
Yeah, we're taking all questions. The Q&A after.
Yeah, but I just kind of want to jump right into it, B. So just to give you a little context, have a little story. So basically, I practiced today, 8:30 in the morning, and we got into the gym, and it's what we predicted, like 20 inches today or something of snow, something nuts. And I was just saying to one of my teammates, I was saying this is like a perfect storm for like a built-in excuse to not get anything done today. It's like snowstorm. All right, let me sit on the couch, grab my blanket, and watch a tearjerker. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man. I've been there, and I know snowstorms. You can either get out there, if you're at home, you can shovel and knock on everyone's door and make, $100 or $500 of shoveling for a day's worth of work, or you can sit, cooped up in your house and watch TV all day. There's 2 ways to approach it. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, in many regards, it's analogous to COVID, because the big thing about a snow day is you have no obligation. There's nowhere you possibly could be. And so you take COVID, but that was for whatever, 2 months. You weren't supposed to be anywhere. You really couldn't be anywhere. So it was like, all right, this validates the fact that I want to sit at home and eat chips and hang in my grandma's basement with my drawers on, as Charles Barkley would say. But yeah, I think it's a dangerous game. Now snow days are one day, so I don't think it has nearly the same harm if you're to take a lazy day, but it can break momentum. And it's also just a great opportunity when you have nothing to be doing or no one to see. It's you can get a lot done. You get to be burrowed in. You can do what you want, and you can organize. I think it's a great day to organize. That's what I've noticed. Now, I think one of the big things I even noticed it today is, and I've heard it from teachers before, because they'll talk about how being at school, if you're in sweatpants, like you're not ready to learn. I never really believe that, but I do think you wake up, and I was in my jammies. So I woke up, and for a while I was still in my jammies, and I just couldn't really get going today. And so I went upstairs, I changed, I put on some sneakers, feeling like I was gonna start running around. And my day seemed to get in a little rhythm. I was cranking out hoodies. So I think that is a big one. Kind of getting out of
Get out of what you wore to bed.
Get out of what you wore to bed. Don't be all sleepy minded and sleepy dressed. I think it's a domino effect on you. And try to seize the day. I think it's a good opportunity. Plus, I don't know. It's not like a depressing day. It's not like rain. Rain, when it's depressing, I think it is easier to just want to sit around and watch a movie. But you look outside, you see all the snow falling.
White.
It's kind of inspiring. So that's my take on the snow day. So I've had a solid day thus far, but it takes a little fighting the urge to just want to lounge around. But
definitely, it can't hurt to take a lazy day here and there when you really need it. But when it's once a week type of thing, 52 days out of the year. I mean, it's 52 more days. Um, you have to get ahead of something, to get ahead of some goals, some tasks you want to knock out. So
No doubt.
it all depends on how you look at it. But I will say, I think it's like it's a day that you can make some passive um, jumps, in like personal goals or whatever. Um, you know, it's kind of like you're sitting at home. It's not like you're gonna have to drive an hour to work or um, run a marathon that day. But you stay at home. Everyone's works on their computer anyways these days, so it's hard to have an excuse, when it's snowing outside. But that being said, um, I kind of want to dive into lazy days and excuses, and because there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there, and
Oh yeah.
everyone's victim to it. Like built-in excuses, lazy days.
Little foreshadow. Excuses are ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous is right. They are ubiquitous, and it's tough. Everything negative is always ubiquitous. It's easy to find. That's why you gotta surround yourself with more positive things. But what are your thoughts on laziness? And when was the last time you had a lazy day? B.
Laziness. Man, part of me
Define
wishes
laziness. Define laziness.
laziness is knowing you, for me, is knowing you should be doing something or could be doing something. But so in your mind, you know that's what you should be doing, but you just can't, you don't have the action. You're not doing the action. So in your mind, you're there, but
You don't have access to that.
without action, it's nothing. And so I think that's laziness. I think that's weakness. Now, for me, a lazy day, I wish my mind would let me do it. And I have plenty of lazy days and lazy spurts. I think the hardest part for me though is I feel so guilty when I'm just lounging around
Yeah.
lazy. Like I feel lame. I feel unproductive. I feel like people are getting ahead of me. I feel like I'm missing an opportunity. But the reality is there are certain days or times where you just need to unwind and give your mind a rest or your body a rest.
You have to earn
And
that, though. I feel like you have to earn that. You know what I mean?
right. So
Free passes. I mean, but it's only for you know. I do hate on the lazy days, but people take them. A lot of people take extra lazy days, but if you want to take it, so be it. We're just pertaining to the lifestyle of people that really want to, achieve their dreams, right? Like
right.
if you're really trying to get to the grind and try and chase something that is hard, what I mean? Not every person can do without some urgency. Um, you know, lazy days every other day isn't going to cut it.
No. I think there's a balance between having a high level of accountability for yourself and kind of discipline, but also being easy on yourself from time to time, letting yourself kind of unwind, unplug, not be fully stuck on go all the time. But I think that's a fine line. And when you cross it and you start to let yourself get away with things or put things off, you start to get behind. And we've talked about winning on this podcast briefly last episode, but winning knows the truth. And if you cut corners when you're wondering why you're not achieving what you want,
Yeah.
it's within those lazy days. So I think lazy days are perilous, but they also can be huge if you have the right discipline to you.
Yeah, definitely. And another follow-up question: How do you? What are ways for you to like get out of a lazy funk? Say like a couple days go by, you feel like you're not yourself, you're a little slow. How do you get out of that funk? Because I know I've had it happen to me, not myself. I know I've seen it in others. Like, what's one way that you can really get out of a funk?
I,
I can start. I can start.
yeah, you start.
One way,
I think
one
I have
way
an
I
idea.
think I think just getting active, like getting a sweat in, getting your heart rate up, pushing yourself a little bit to, you have a little exhaustion there. I think that just like right off the bat, and in just the professional world, I think it's when you work out before work or you're staying active every day. I think your productivity level just skyrockets. I think scientifically that's a fact. And I think that's just how you get that. I think that's a great way to get back on track. And another way I'd say is, if you had a lazy day one day, and you wake up the next morning, take a cold shower. Take an ice cold shower. I'm telling you, for all those cold shower people out there, you guys know it. It wakes you right up. It's like a smack in the face. It's like, I'll put it like this: cold showers are like, it's like a mental block. It's like your first mental challenge of the day. It's like, I could take a warm shower. I really could. I could take this shortcut because it's like staying on the covers, or I could take this cold shower and fight through this and wake myself up, get myself ready for the day. So that's how I think of it, and those are ways that I would get through a funk.
It's a good analogy. I like it. I'll consider that when I'm having a coming off a lazy day. I'll ponder that option.
It's a good bounce back.
I guess for me, it's typically when I'm just stuck or feeling lazy. I think a lot of times it comes when I'm most overwhelmed, or if I'm mainly just by my mind. I don't actually ever think I'm that overwhelmed, but in my mind, I'm like, I got to do some brand stuff. I got to work out. I got to do my schoolwork. I got to organize my stuff. I got to talk to this person. And so I get all overwhelmed. And so as a result, I'm like, well, where do I even start? So I think kind of organizing or whether it's just writing it out instead of just letting your mind ruminate with thoughts that are probably just sending you all different directions and not really giving you a place to get it going. So I think writing it out, organizing it, just putting it on a list of this is what I need to get done. This is where I want to start. And as you said, just with that mental block, starting your morning with a cold shower, it's a domino effect. So once you start somewhere and get something going, complete a task or whatever the case may be, you start to get a little rhythm. You start to break the cycle of laziness, and you also you get a little bit inspired and motivated. And I think that is the key. And I've said it, I'd hate sounding like a broken record, but action creates motivation. And so you just got to start. You just got to start whatever it is, schoolwork or a book or this podcast. Right when we get going, we get into it. But the lead up, all the tedious stuff, the planning, it's a trap that's set, but you can't fall for it. So
you learn more through trial and error than you do trying to be perfect the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that.
Living proof of that, B.
Who?
Well, you and I.
You and I, baby.
Podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. Laziness is tough to overcome. It is, and we all fall victim to it. And as I said, I think there is a balance between being a little easy on yourself from time to time, but also understanding that lazy people don't win. Lazy people don't get shit done at the
GSD.
At the rate that is required to maximize yourself and put yourself in the best position at whatever you're trying to do. So
good point. You a GSD type of guy, B? That's a nice little theme.
What is it?
A get shit done guy.
Get shit done. I try to be. I'll tell you, to flaunt our sister. I'll flaunt our sister real quick. She is as GSD a person as I've ever met.
That's a fact.
So, you and I have been lucky enough to come behind a big sister who's laid the blueprint for us a bit, but we're working on it. I think another big thing that separates it though from the jump is just being conscious of it. People are so oblivious to their own laziness or their day to day what they're doing. And step one is just even being uncomfortable with being lazy, whether you do something or not about it, like that's step one, like being aware of it. I
Yeah.
think that like some people just don't even notice it or think about it. That's just
But
their
I also
day.
think it might stem off of people that don't have, short-term or long-term goals, right? So that, they don't really have
Right.
anything that they're chasing after, the present state. So they feel like it's not lazy. It's just what they do day to day. People could just be lazy people and they don't even know it because they have nothing that they're shooting for, or in the near future that their long-term goals are so far down the line that they feel like it does really matter what they do every day. But you know,
Yeah.
you gotta try and win the day. You gotta
Yeah.
get 24 hours. You gotta win the day.
I was reading something and it was, you and I talk a lot about the marathon. That's one of the things, like people constantly say that, it's a marathon, life's a marathon. To get to my goal, it's a marathon. But that can be a dangerous phrase if you don't realize, like, people who run the best marathons run like a under 5 minute mile. So they're sprinting the whole marathon.
Yeah,
In other words, every day they're laying a brick, they're laying a brick, they're laying a brick. And by the end of the marathon, you look up, you got a brick house. But people will say it's a marathon as if it's like an escape of having to do
you
stuff
gotta
day to
trot
day.
through. You gotta, as if you gotta trot through.
Yeah, right. It's like in the long run, it'll work out. No, it's like it'll work out in the long run if day to day you grind.
It'll work out if what I do now gets done. That's a great point, B. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand that, and also the training that's involved in being able to even start running marathons.
Start a marathon, right? A lot goes into it.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the toughest things to do. Is just the mental capacity to get yourself to start off being a shitty runner, running 1 to 2 miles per time, to then train for a marathon and build up to 26 miles, because all you're doing is running. You're not playing basketball and running. You're not, playing football. You're not running up and down kicking soccer ball. There's nothing else to do but just run and be in your own head the whole time. I think that's like the most mental toughness, um, active
Challenge.
challenge out there. I mean, to me at least. Some people are natural runners, but
Yeah,
that's
to
something I
talk about.
want to knock off one day. Is beat my own head and run a marathon. But I think we'll let Maeve do it.
Yeah, our sister's in the midst of it right now.
So,
Pretty incredible stuff. But
all right,
yeah. All right, let's get into the final segment. We got the MTD word of the day, book of the day, and song of the day. C-Mac, kick us off with the word of the day.
word of the day.
Briefly alluded to
Yeah,
earlier in the episode.
we touched on it earlier. Word of the day is ubiquitous.
How
Which,
come?
how come? Well, because laziness is ubiquitous. All right. Normal lifestyles are ubiquitous. There's a lot of stuff that is ubiquitous that you want to avoid, and our brand. Is we want it to become ubiquitous, but the lifestyle that we're trying to portray is the exact opposite here, and we're trying to get that point across. So where the day's ubiquitous, throw that into your vocab.
Can you give a exact definition for the people?
Yeah, ubiquitous is presenting, appearing, or found to be found everywhere. So it's an adjective. It's like Brendan said before the podcast, like masks are ubiquitous at this time, and hopefully they won't be in coming months. But and then B, you want to touch on the book of the day?
Yeah, book of the day. A great snow day activity for, I bet, everyone listening. They need it, including me and everyone. Verbal Advantage, a book of dynamite. Everyone needs to expand their vocabulary. A wise English teacher once told me that the top workers in basically every field have measured to have the best vocabulary. in their profession. So it goes a long way being able to control the English language. It's a great setup, not like a dictionary. There's levels to it. So there's progressions to advance your vocabulary, and they give backgrounds on the word. There's quizzes and little tests at the end of each level. So recommended. It's helped me quite a bit, and I enjoy reading it. So that's the book of the day. It's a must.
Has to be there in there. It's got to be in there.
Ubiquitous is in there. Ubiquitous is in there.
3,500 words in that book.
Yeah, it's powerful. And then we got the song of the day, "Face the World" by Nipsey Hussle.
Classic.
I think, that's very much we talk a lot about the challenges, the day to day, and you got to just face them. Get up every day, head to school, head to work, embrace the grind, and chip away.
Comes with it. I mean, that comes with it.
So Flick, cue that one up for us, and C-Mac, send us off. A little snow day. What are you gonna go sled after this, or what?
No, my days are numbered for sledding. I'm hitting the books.
Good.
Work calling my name.
I like that. All right. Well, snow day edition, episode 2. We'll be back next week with another one. Just break the laziness, right?
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. It's gotta go.
Peace.
Show me signals of betrayal, can't be back friends. Long flights get my mind right. Victory to me is when you spend your time right. Victory to me is when you get your grind right. Victory to me is when you get your minds right. Niggas got this shit twisted like Jean-Michel Basquiat.